Persistence is a motherfucker. For real. And there's levels to persistence. There's levels to persistence. And just to give you an example of that, in terms of, what are we persisting for? Why it's important to have persistence and where does that lead? Well, it's important to have persistence in life because there's levels to experiencing higher quality levels of life. And this is the 7 levels of organizational consciousness. This was based on the Barrett model by a guy named Barrett. And he created this, and I think it's really dope. But basically, you begin at level 1 in survival. Level 2 is relationships. Level 3 is self-esteem. Level 4 is transformation. Level 5 is internal cohesion. Level 6 is making a difference. And level 7 is service to humanity and the planet. So, why is persistence important? Well, without persistence, you don't get past level 1. Most people in their businesses and in their careers and personal lives are on level 1, survival. They're in pursuit of profit and shareholder value. They're in pursuit of building themselves and making themselves valuable to a market. That's called establishing traction. Now, when you get past level 2, level 3, level 4, after about level 4, you kind of get past the survival levels and you enter more of the creative levels. So, whereas level 1, 2, 3 was about pursuit of profit, shareholder value, making money, taking care of basic needs, leveling up, making sure your systems are in place, and having the confidence to be able to fulfill your customers successfully. Then you reach transformation, level 4, and after that you're more in like a creative mind state. So it's important to persist the correct way in order to get past the survival stages of life so that you can level up and reach the more creative stages of life. And so why am I saying all of this? Well, today is funny because I actually ran into someone who a couple years ago I wanted to actually have a conversation with. I used to do general contracting. Basically, we put together teams of contractors, plumbers, electricians, construction workers, roofers, painters, and the like, renewable energy installers, solar panel system installers. I would put together teams of these people, line stripers, landscapers, so that I could approach property managers and offer them real estate maintenance services, property management services through my network. And so one of the companies that I approached as a partner, this company specialized in asphalt, seal coating, line striping, basically painting the parking lot lines. And I was talking with restaurants and speaking with different property owners that had parking lots that needed to be done. And I would go around to these people making proposals like, hey, we can do your lot for, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, what have you. And I struggled because it was my first time in the business, and it's hard getting off the ground. And the main reason is because you need the capital for tools and equipment and supplies. So I realized that I needed to partner with companies who are already established and can do the work, rather than companies just starting out and getting off the ground themselves. So I approached a basically line striping company, asphalt paving company, and the guy that I spoke to over the phone, I was trying to get in touch with the owner, but he wouldn't put me through. And I was asking like, hey, do you guys want more customers? Do you guys want referrals? Do you have a referral program? I got some leads and projects for you guys. And this guy was just giving me such a hard time. He would not put me through to the owner. He would not make a schedule or definite date with me. And he just didn't have any interest in working with me whatsoever. Now, this was not the owner of the business. that I was soliciting for a partnership. This was just somebody who worked for the business. And so that really frustrated me because I'm like, hey, I have these deals and projects on the line, and I'm here and I can connect you guys for a referral fee and this and that. And they just were like, no, it's cutthroat. You're just giving me, it was like pulling teeth to have a conversation with them. So fast forward a year and a half later, today, I literally meet the owner. I mean, the owner's just literally out here working and finishing off a line striping job. And his name is Jim. And Jim was very friendly. He was very open. And just within 3 seconds, I said, hey, you guys looking for more work, more customers? He said, yeah, we always are. Owner was super friendly, opened right up. Wants me to get in contact with him in spring. Because in spring, they're doing less jobs outside, obviously. Every business has their slow season. And so with the general contracting community, usually their slower season, depending on the type of work that they do, their slow seasons are like the winter time when it's snow on the ground. Because when there's snow on the ground, it's hard to do anything outside. It's more difficult. So you slow down operations and you want to get the jobs done when the weather's a little warmer. And so the owner was just really open, transparent, and cooperative. When people like you, they cooperate with you. They make it easy for you to do business with them. And so it just kind of hit me like, wait a minute. I tried to approach you guys like last year, and last year one of your guys was like, you're not interested in exactly what I'm talking about now. So it's just important to always get to a decision maker, to get to a boss, to get to someone who's actually in control. And it's important to never accept a no from someone not in position to give you a yes. In building your businesses, you're going to have to get past people, gatekeepers and such, to be able to contact the people who have the power to benefit your business and receive a benefit from your service. And so that just hit me, and I'm just out here, did a couple networking, had some breakfast, and just putting everything together, securing people's names, and becoming extremely aware of my environment, looking at developments. Oh, that restaurant just went up. Well, how are they going to market it? Do they have a website? How are they going to market the website? What's their flagship product? Do they have, how are they going to market their menu? Different things like that in this digital age. So, I approach restaurants for restaurant development. I approach contractors for contracting development. I approach real estate professionals for real estate development. I'm a business developer, and I apply the skills that I have in business to multiple businesses. Because what I found is that the same similar concepts and business models and challenges that I've been targeting, they're trending. I'm very familiar with just how a business functions and works and its essentials and what it needs to be a thriving and successful business. And so I understand marketing, I understand sales, fulfillment, management, financial management. And when you have those 5 things pretty much down, which are the core of any business operation, then you can ask the right questions and you can apply your knowledge from all the other clients that you've done with in the past, your previous work, your previous knowledge, towards future projects. And that's what I do. I put together teams of professionals and we collaborate on a project together and we transform companies that way. So I have multiple stakeholders and multiple customers and partners and clients. I got service partners, I got product partners, I have affiliate partners, referral partners, marketing partners, sales partners, fulfillment partners, management partners, a whole bunch of partners. So financial partners, investors. So my job is to organize different talents and skill sets and put them in a mode where we can create multiple services from combining each other's knowledge. So if I know a marketer and I know a designer, I can put them together as a tag team and I can call that a creative marketing team. Because the job of the marketer is to put messages in front of a business's target audience to get their attention. The job of a designer is to make sure that the user experience is very friendly, very warm, and it's working. Design, I love design because design is everything. I mean, there's strategic design and there's creative design. And I think we're all designers in a way, we have to be. But those of us who take design seriously, I think we end up joining the ranks of the elite and the 1%. Consulting firms, management firms, McKinsey, Deloitte, Bain, these guys acquire design firms because while the consulting firm specializes in the strategic success and management of a company, they realized that they have a need, that their clients have a need for creative services. Because once a business gets past the survival stages, pursuit of profit, relationships that support the organization, high performance systems and processes, once that part is taken care of, the business is now in more of a creative space and capacity. And now there's a need for creative services. And that's why many of these strategic consulting firms, which specialize in the survival profit of an organization, they have bought design companies to basically add creative services to their repertoire of services. And I think that's ingenious because these firms are just basically groups of people who are some of the best minds on the planet. And so you're combining creative minds with strategic minds to create a higher value service. And that's pretty much, my business model. And that's what it is. When you get in front of a decision maker, you want to set a definite date and time. You want to get a feel for the business. You want to get a feel of whether this is their slow season or busy season. And you want to build the relationship. You want to begin nurturing it by establishing, hey, I'm here to help. I'm here to assist you guys in any way I can. I live locally. When you're dealing with individual business owners, you keep the conversation personal, and as you go through different levels of organizations, some are going to be bigger than others, some are going to be more bureaucratic than others. You customize your process depending on who you're dealing with. And so I segment my clients. By their company size and their company budget. I have A clients, B clients, C clients, D clients, and E clients, each with a specific range of what they can invest in themselves for a potential project. And that allows me to actually say, okay, this client A, they're $1 million and up client, so I know how I'm coming at this client. I know how to address their needs. Whereas client C is a $200,000 per year budget, and so I'm able to segment my clients in that respect. And that just helps me to organize my projects and direct my resources and allocate what I have to give effectively, because I'm meeting the businesses where they are. I'm not treating a $100 million per year business like I would a mom and pop. It's a different kind of thing. So I have systems and processes that allow me to easily adapt to my pricing, tactics and strategies and my approach and timelines and scheduling and how I actually manage a project. So some clients are going to have needs that are very predictable and easy to figure out. And so with those types of projects, there's not going to be a lot of client communication back and forth. You basically receive all the instruction you need in the beginning, and all the communication that needs to take place are progress and milestones between phases. Phase 1, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is your desired outcome. Okay, phase 1's complete. Phase 2, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is your desired outcome. Phase 2 is complete. Phase 3, phase 4, and then you're done. But with clients who have more unpredictable needs, and there's going to be a lot of communication back and forth to get this project just right, you use a form of project management called agile management. And agile management is a business model to where you're managing a project that has needs that are all over the place. You're not sure exactly, you're kind of stabbing in the dark a little bit. So you need to maintain constant communication with your client, and there's a lot of going back and forth and redoing things. So whereas the waterfall style of project management is more cut and dry, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and agile management for needs that are very unpredictable for a project it'd be like phase one, and then going back and doing phase one over again, and like recirculating, and lots of communication between that. So all in all, that's all to say that you have to prepare whatever business you have. And what I encourage people to do is to have a consulting business, because consultants basically get paid for what they know, and they price what they know based on their time, based on their attention, based on their focus, based on their energy and their experience. And we all have that. We all have time. We all have attention. We all have energy. We all have experience of some kind. We all have knowledge. We can all give a professional opinion on something. We can all give someone a recommendation, and that's basically what consultants get paid for. They get paid to make recommendations about what a business should do. And that's all it is. And you can do that as an individual. You can do that as an organization with thousands of people. Um, but you're in the business of selling knowledge, selling recommendations, selling your opinion. And when you're dealing with experts who have been in the field, even if they're not experts in a specific industry, but they have expert knowledge, you investing by hiring a consulting firm or team or individual consultant to advise you through a particular process or give you some further insight on it, it it adds to your power, and it adds to your ability, and it reassures you, because sometimes businesses just grow too big for the original managers. Um, Companies are always adding management partners and trying to find the right talent as their business grows, and that's the point. Like 10 years ago, you don't have the same business you have today. Things have changed. You got to do things differently. And so there's always a need of, okay, damn, I've never done this before. I've been in this business for 30 years. However, now things are changing. So now I'm definitely going to need to seek advice on what my next best step should be in terms of growing in profitability and expanding my reach and growth and share of the market and increasing my competitive advantage. So these are things that consultants get paid for. And what individuals can do is they can take what these larger consulting firms are doing, and they can create a personalized service out of that. And you can begin selling your knowledge. You can begin getting paid a retainer. You can begin having a retainer model for people who simply want access to your knowledge when it's convenient for them. So how I do that is, if I grab an individual client, say they're just an individual, they're a person, and they're in the early stage of their business, but they want to maintain access to my knowledge, they can pay me $250 a month to retain me. And what that allows me to do is that allows me to put down current projects that I have on the table and for just a second, and attend to whatever needs they may have, and review and go over with them what their desired outcome is and what they want to have done. So this is things that you can do, because you will be busy as a consultant. I'm very busy, and I have multiple projects. And so the best thing that I do is I charge retainers, and that allows me to have passive income. That allows clients who are serious about dealing with me and working with me, and one day potentially utilizing my services to their full capacity. It allows us to nurture a relationship over time. They're paying me. It's not that much out their pocket. It's very low risk, but they have access to someone they believe is valuable when they need it. And so that gives me passive income, and that gives me a relationship. And when you have money exchanged, you're not doing business unless you're moving money. But when money is being exchanged, there's trust there. There's an acknowledgement. When someone is exchanging money with you, they're acknowledging your value. They're saying, we know you're valuable. We desire to keep your value and have access to your value. So we're going to engage with you. We're going to pay this retainer to retain you. And so what's $250 a month? That's $3,000 a year. That's nothing, for a business to pay. So with that retainer, it makes my approach very flexible. And with that, I can also take on a one-off project, charge separately for the actual projects. And so that's my business model. That's my mind frame. That's what I'm pushing the youth to do, because they don't realize how valuable what they already know is. I'm in the business of combining skills together to create higher value services for business clients. That's my business. And from it kind of looks like I do everything, but I don't do everything. What I do is I have a broad approach, and then I have my specialists that specialize in their unique areas to create a specialized service. And that's what I do, and I think it's a brilliant system. And I'll be sharing my business model, but this is what it is. This is the game, and now I'm in the process of just getting my personal stuff together so that I can invest in my business, because my business has gotten to the point where I have all this deal flow over years of networking and years of speaking with people and years of growing and developing myself and my social circles, and I have all this deal flow, but I've got to turn that into cash flow, and it's going to take money to do that because I have to get the equipment to be able to fulfill my service. And that means laptops, phones, multiple laptops, because you got multiple sections of your business that require a dedicated computer so that you're keeping your sanity. If you're focusing on the creative aspect of your business, you have a creative or personal computer for that. If you're focused on connecting with people, you have a business communication computer for that. And so you're able to do multiple things at the same time when you have the equipment in place. And so that's what I'm working on right now. So my plan for 2020 is simply just stack the paper, sell more of my retainer, partner model services, like just get the money flowing in, and for just basic light consulting, and keep it flowing in like that. But I'm happy because I spent the last 5 years putting this business model together, and now I've got it down pat. And now that I've got the planning part of the business out the way, I'm going to move into the building part, which is getting the money and investing in the resources to actually have a sustainable operation. And once the building part is out the way, which may take 3 years, then we can start the business. I can start the business how I actually, from the level I really want to start it at. And from there, I can improve the business, and then I can win at it. But it's all a process: planning, building, beginning, improving, and winning. And that's the goal. I get a lot of people that tell me, hey man, you're gonna be successful whatever you do. They don't know what I do, but I just look like a successful person, so I appreciate that. I'm just gonna take the opportunity every day. Even though I'm not where I want to be yet, I'm on the road that I want to be on. I'm on the path that I want to be on, but I'm not where I want to be. But I'm on the path that I want to be on, and I know how to navigate terrain, and I have all this stuff, so I'm good. I'm good in that department. And I got the book coming out, 2021, Be a High Value Man. So that will go through iterations of itself and just become a sharper, better presented book over time. But, as far as getting the table of contents down, and all of that is taken care of. So yeah, it's a lot, it's a lot, but I believe it's going to be worth it. I plan to have, like, when I say I'm broke, I got 5 million cash on me. That's my version of broke. So that's what I'm going for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really going for hundreds of millions of dollars because I know that money's out here. I don't have to have all that myself, but say my business is bringing in 100 million a year, maybe I'm taking home 25 million, a year out of that, on some shit, like, for real. So, but yeah, you start off light, like I told my little brother, he's 18 years old, so the minimum amount he should be getting paid per hour is $18 an hour, because you should be getting your minimum age per hour in income. Not settling for the minimum wage that they tell you should be making minimum, but you should have your own minimums and your own standards, because that's how you carve out your own life, and you're able to control your destiny and create more influence when you set your own personal standards and you don't settle for anything less. So that's what we need. The other aspect is, I sat down and talked with a white guy today, and he was telling me about how, he has his business and all of that, and he has his kids, and he paid for all of his kids' education, and he gave his daughter like $400 a month, um, every month just so she can save and do this and that. He bought his daughter her first car. He gave her money to pay for a third of it, so it's all his money, but he's putting his children in position. And I was just thinking about this. It's like, yo, what white people do is they say, hey, son, Billy, we want you to get a car, and what we'll do is we'll cover the initial car payments for you for a year until you get your job, and then we'll pass the car payments over to you. And what that does is that takes a lot of pressure off the child to produce, and it allows them to get in a position of comfort and grace because they have their parents looking out for them. Um, Putting them in the car and covering the cost of it so they can get that initial start they need and get around to the places they need to go to begin working and experiencing a higher quality of life. And that's what white people do for their kids. Like, they actually finance their kids' success. They fund their kids' success. They invest in their kids' success. They actually understand the importance of saving money and investing in their children. And what have I been talking about? Black people don't invest in their kids. Black people don't have plans like that. We don't say, hey, we'll cover these payments for you until you get your job, and then you can, begin working and covering the payments. We don't have that. We're all starting from the bottom. So it's just a different dynamic. And you can call that complaining or whatever, but what I like to do is I like to be very realistic about needs. And I've been talking about this for years. I'm like, white people invest in their children. They make sure their children are safe and successful and are funded prior to sending them out there. They make sure their children are knowledgeable. They make sure their children have an advantage. My family didn't do that for me. There's no conscious effort to do that for the younger generation, like combined collectively. And a lot of that is, the fault of the community. And a lot of that is the fault of what's been done to black people in the history of America. But I just noticed it's very interesting. Like, you can think you're crazy thinking like, man, you know, why are black people in this position and why this and that and why, but you sit down and have conversations and you talk to people and you realize that, man, these white people are doing things that black people are not doing for their children or don't have the